My name is Karen, and I'm from the New World Experience and the NEWEX Approach, and I'm happy that you are listening to this now. Perhaps you're here, or perhaps you listen to the recording, so both of it is, of course, very much welcome. So today the topic is living confidently with your judgmental mind. And that is something which, of course, is for many of us quite a challenge when we have a judgmental mind, and especially like when we are getting a little bit more into personal development and we want to be encouraging towards ourselves, we want to be gentle and kind, and then we are judgmental to ourselves. And then it's something that seems to ruin every joy, and you might recognize that. So let me explain a little bit about what the unchangeable, always visible signature of a trait is. In the NEWEX, we have an assumption that every single trait inside of ourselves, is an aspect which is naturally, organically developing when it is in the correct surrounding, in the nourishing surrounding. You can think about it like when you have children. Children grow up naturally, but how they grow up, if they become a constructive member of society, depends a lot about like how the environment is where they grow up. So what we are doing is, and what we are acknowledging in the NEWEX is that we are part of nature, and that because we are part of nature, we are also developing just organically like anything else in nature also. But the analogy of with the child, so when you have a child, the best way to let a child grow up is to have an environment which is safe, which is welcoming, which is encouraging, which is space giving for the talents and who the child is, so that it can unfold naturally and feel safe enough in order to do so. It is my experience while working more than 30 years with people that our inner team, our inner aspects that we also call subpersonality in psychology, so these are actually also like children, like inner aspects. They have a certain age, and a certain age they learned a certain way to make themselves ready to deal with the situation at hand. To stay coherent means they come into peace again somehow. They deal with it. They try to survive. And by that, we have learned all kinds of traits that on one hand, sometimes they're brilliant and they help us very much, and they grew up and they are contributive, and other traits are perhaps not that contributive. And when you suffer a judgmental mind, then you are probably thinking that this is not a trait that you like so much. Perhaps today you will change your mind about that, because when every single aspect inside of us, inclusive also a judgmental mind, is an underdeveloped aspect, so that means not a mistake, but an underdeveloped aspect inside of you, then we have to have a closer look, like how do you do your judgmentalism? And here we are always, it's always the question, when you have a destructive trait, a trait you're not happy with, then you always ask yourself, how do I do my whatever, my shyness? How do I do my anger? How do I do my, in this case, judgmental, that I'm judgmental? So it is important to really look at it in a way with no labeling. No labeling means every mind concept that you have about judgmentalism, and every pain you might have suffered of it, or every pain you have suffered of judgmental people, so all of that, we are stripping it off, and we just take stock of what is there, what is the visible behavior. So the perfectionism, when it is never enough, but now you're suffering it probably, when it is never good enough, and you look at something, you can never really enjoy something because it is never good enough, and perhaps also not yourself because it's never good enough. So when nothing is good enough and the work you're doing is not good enough, what is it then actually? When we have our emotions coming in and our mind labels are also in it, then we look at it and we say, okay, it is not good enough, so that means it can be better. When things can be better, what is it then? That means actually when they always can be better. Yeah, so it's not that it has to be better than it is good enough. When the perfectionist is never good enough. So that means there is an infinity of improvement. There is an infinity of possibilities. Yeah, so it's never stopping. There is a pure awareness that development and possibilities are endless. Yeah. So when you are a perfectionist and you are a holder of a judgmental mind of perfectionist, yeah, then this is the quality that you actually have. You have an infinite mind of possibilities, an awareness of infinite possibilities of, how something can be, infinite improvement, infinite possibilities. Yeah. And most of the people that I know, and you check it for yourself, they also find it important that something is beautiful. It's not just that it is not good enough, but they strive for absolute beauty. Yeah, that something. Sometimes they come close. They cannot enjoy, but they enjoy that other people say it's perfect. Yeah, but they love something to be really great. Yeah, so they don't want to do with less than that. So when you have that in that way, so it's also that you like it to be beautiful. Yeah. So then it's also a drive for it. So that means it's not just an infinite improvement, but an infinite improvement or infinite direction or possibilities towards beauty, towards something which is beauty and it's enriching. Yeah. And when you look at it like that, when that the capacity is of your judgmental mind, then the question is, of course, is that bad? That someone has a mind of infinite options. Yeah, it is only coming painful when we think that we have to reach an end. But when we totally fear free and totally accepting that aspect, yeah, what drives us all the time to better and more, and we can just see it as a quality and experience it as a quality. And when you're a holder of it, and very often this judgmental mind of perfectionism, then when it is seen, it calms down and says like, okay, now finally someone who sees me, because it's a quality that you have. It's not a deficit. And this quality of the perfectionism, of the judgmental mind of perfectionism, as an example, when you have it, and you have your reasons, of course, that it has never, the voices are probably the recordings of people of your past that have been there. Yeah, so that's very much possible. But when we are wanting what we call to heal, yeah, then we are tending to throw away the baby with the bathing water. So the quality that this aspect, why this aspect is inside of you, which is a very important energy that you are holding, this is how you are creating something in your life. Yeah, when you want to throw away the baby together with the bathing water, yeah, then you can never be feeling whole. You can never feel the power of it, what it actually can mean for you when you can live it fearless, when you can really live it in a way that it becomes towards an enriching aspect of yourself. Yeah. And this development is happening organically when the conducive environment, the welcoming atmosphere and attitude is there. When we see that aspect for what it is, yeah, then we are creating that nourishing environment, which I actually is the main focus of the NEWEX, to create this nourishing environment for those aspects inside of yourself, which is the most important thing, because when you are already a little bit longer in the field of personal development, then you might know that it is a journey that is endless. And when you go a little bit deeper, then you also see that we are carrying correct collective consciousness of pain and stuff to develop. And then we have perhaps past lives, yeah, when you believe in that. So it is actually an endless thing, which we can never reach any end. Yeah. So, and it is also not meant that we are reaching an end, because there is nothing wrong with us. There's no need of fixing yourself. But there is a need to create that environment, this welcoming attitude towards yourself, towards those inner aspects, those inner family, this inner team of us. Yeah. that where they can develop, and not can, they will develop organically just by themselves towards becoming an enriching aspect of yourself. Yeah. And then you will also see that this voice inside of your head, yeah, becomes constructive. What we do in the NEWEX, I invite to shed off forming tools, because only because of your past, you know, we are who we are, because only because of all that has happened in our lives, because all what has happened in our chain of ancestors, of family lines and all that, we are who we are. And I like you to really love who you are. Not that you force yourself to love yourself and to get yourself a massage, because we say then it's a piece of self-love or so, and to set healthy boundaries and to do this and to do that. You know, the new jacket what personal development has put on authenticity. But for me, authenticity is really to really seeing who you are and really welcoming yourself on that level as you are. And there's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong. It's like when an aspect of you got stuck when it was 5 years old. Look at the 5-year-old in life. There's nothing wrong with a 5-year-old to be 5-year-old. He acts like a 5-year-old in a conducive environment and a welcoming attitude. It will develop organically further. And I see that all the time within my programs, that people are stunning, just like how they observe themselves developing, just like you observe a child developing and you're so amazed, you know, what it now again can do. Because we are not directing, but we are supporting. We are not choosing who we are, but we are observing who we are, because you are already. You are already that person that is the perfect fit for the life that you would like to live. And this acknowledgement that there is nothing missing and nothing too much in you, this acknowledging gives us a feeling of wholeness. And this feeling of wholeness, that there's nothing wrong with you, that induces a confidence inside of ourselves. And we feel safe and secure and of value, which also gives the basis for every judgmental mind to develop organically further. There's not more needed than that. So if you have interest in that, if you find that inspiring, and you think like, yes, I would love to build this conducive environment for my inner aspects, inclusive and absolutely for this judgmental mind of mine and how I do my judgmentalism, and also like perhaps other aspects, because the beauty of the NEWEX is that we are focusing not on healing individual things, you know, trying to fix this, trying to fix that, yeah, but we are really focusing on this conducive environment for your inner team to really get the best, you know, as it can be, but also authentically, not just something that you have chosen to wanting to be, but that what you are, what lives within you, that makes you that unique part of the puzzle that you are. And then you feel at home inside of yourself and you feel at home in life. And that makes a huge difference. So if you find it interesting to also build up this energy, yeah, this presence, I call it observing presence, which starts and directs at your human nature and does not want to kind of exclude it in one way or another, or just want to be with it, because it is essential that we are understanding that these inner child aspects, they need more than just to have a loving atmosphere. They need this kind of attention that makes them feel safe and that makes them grow up socially and emotionally further. So that when you are in your Monday morning meeting, yeah, you feel this security and safety inside of yourself. And then this judgmental mind can shine, as in the example that I've shared, yeah, as having brilliant ideas that goes beyond of what people actually could have thought of. And that's the quality that you have. And when you do the same thing as I did with this example with your judgmental mind, how do I do my judgmentalism? Or how do I do my whatever trait it is that doesn't work yet for you, that is still in the child mode, as I call it? you will find out that these aspects of you have such a tremendous power for you. So feel welcome to check out, find me on the channel where you found the link to this workshop, and join me in building up this energy for yourself, which is not only making that your aspects, inside aspects, grow up authentically and organically without being pushed towards something, but it also gives you the grounded, stable foundation to live your life in a presence of safety and confidence, regardless of how crazy the outer world might be. And I hope that we find each other somewhere. Looking forward to that.